4:30 coming into our area. But there will be areas, the east side, at 500 feet in elevation where we could be looking at 2 to 4 inches of snow tonight. We'll break that down more coming up in just a bit, Maggie.
All right, Rod, that sounds good. Thank you. Well, hey, in the meantime, once again, so Keely's out in Drive 8 with her trusty KGW beanie on this morning, keeping warm. Hey, Keely, how are the roads looking? You look good.
I gotta represent. Hey, you know what? They're looking great. Totally different from this time yesterday. I'll give you a live look. We're actually on I-205 heading south right now. We just went over the Glen Jackson Bridge, which yesterday was a sheet of snow and ice. And today, hey, it was looking great. It was basically just wet pavement out there. You're looking at at 205 right now, and you can see there's some snow on the sides of the highway. But I tell you what, all the lanes are clear. We're going to turn now and head east on I-84 and check out some of those East County roads that were snow-packed. And I can tell you, like up in the West Hills, we drove through there earlier this morning. Some of the residential streets still slick. You know, the snow that was on them melted a little bit and it froze overnight. The roads and the streets downtown looks great. Again, the interstate so far looking good. The bridge looking good. I bet some of the side roads in the residential areas are still snow-packed. You can see, again, just a little bit of ice here and there. Did notice some of the off and on ramps were a little snowy, a little slick, and you can see it's a little rough right here as we're heading onto I-84. So this could be one of those kind of sneaky slick spots when you're driving and transitioning from one roadway to another. That's when you may run into some slick areas, so just use caution when you're doing that. We'll head again east on I-84. We're going to check out some of the residential roads here shortly, and we'll bring you an update in the next half hour. Guys, for now, we'll send it back to you.
All right, Keely, glad you're safe out there. Thanks for keeping an eye out for us. We appreciate it. Well, of course, the roads were really rough yesterday. Ice and snow causing crash after crash. We watched it all happen during sunrise for hours. This one, in fact, trapped an SUV driver and shut down the ramp from I-5 south onto I-84 east for more than 5 hours. Oh, my, here it comes.
There we go.
Wow. Yeah, that was insane to watch. We were over the scene live when crews pulled Alex Reem Sapiano out of his SUV. He had been stuck, wedged between that Love's fuel truck and the edge of the freeway, the edge of that overpass there. He told us how this all unfolded from his point of view. Take a listen.
A Forerunner had spun out. There was about 6 cars ahead of me. Everyone had slowed to a stop. Then I looked in my rear view, seeing that the semi was coming and not slowing down, or at least not slowing down as quickly as I thought he should have. So I tried to get out of his way because he was on the far side. And then the car in front of me did the same thing, cutting me off, so I had to stop. And then the back end of the semi came out from behind him and hit me.
Yeah, that's terrifying. Well, amazingly, as you can see, the SUV still worked. He actually drove it away from the scene, although it may need some body work here in the near future. All right, well, ODOT crews have, of course, been extremely busy this weekend, and we're lucky enough once again to have Peter Murphy from ODOT on the phone with us. Peter, good morning. Can you hear me?
Hey. Yeah, good morning, everybody. How you doing?
Hey, doing well, thank you. Thanks for calling in once again. So
sure. Tell
us, how do you think your crews handled yesterday? It seemed like, you know, a busy morning and busy day from our vantage point.
Well, now you're asking by a source. I think they did a great job. I'm sure people will take issue with some of that, but you know, it is a challenge to get everybody out there in all the places that need the help all the time. We have a limited resource, and this is a story people have heard before, but I think generally speaking, if you look out on the highway this morning, all the highways, they're in a very good shape. I mean, that's the message that we're trying to deliver here, that we did get our crews out. Keely did a great job describing, you know, my job really, by showing you what the conditions are out there. So we're pretty fortunate that nothing major really happened. I think the overpass incident there that you were just talking about is probably the big dramatic one that happened. There were probably a lot more minor stuff that took place that we don't know about. But all in all, we made it through with few major injuries, and that's kind of the important message that I have for this morning. And then to watch out again as we keep this system going tonight when it comes in and into tomorrow morning.
Okay, great. And were there any major injuries that you heard of?
I didn't hear of any, but that doesn't mean they didn't happen. But from my vantage point, we were really fortunate to get through without anything major. And I guess the one thing else to add here is that if folks are heading out to the gorge, that's the place where we're still finding a lot of snowfall and tough driving conditions. So if people are heading east, just be aware that that area isn't done yet. We're still trying to bail out a little bit. But all in all, if you look at all the highways across the state, we're in pretty good shape.
Okay, great. And then Rod talked about we do have this next round of possible snow. I mean, here we go again. So what's the strategy now that we've had this one and then looking ahead to the next possible system?
Sure. Well, we'll reload our de-icing stations. We'll get the trucks ready to go. Today will be a bit of recovery. We'll still have people out patrolling and taking care of the ice is what we have now. And then gear up and be informed. I guess that's the important message here. We know what's coming. Motorists tend to know what's coming now, and that's a good place to be as we're going to experience a bit more snowfall before we get done with this weather storm that's moving through.
Okay, great. Well, I'm not a psychic, but I'm thinking that we'll probably be checking in with you here again in the near future. So, Peter Murphy, you've been amazing and just checking in with us all weekend on these morning shows. So
appreciate it.
Thank you for your time again.
Talk to you later. You bet. Bye-bye.
Have a good day. Well, you don't see this every day. Moving on, there's a downed tree in the middle of downtown. It fell right onto two cars parked along the South Park blocks at Park and Clay. An arborist says, combo of the cold, damp ground and the wind probably knocked it over. Thank you, Mother Nature. Thankfully, no one was hurt in that scenario. Well, someone else recovering from the wintry blast, grocery store clerks. Customers left no shelf of kale uncleared, gearing up for the forecasted storm. This is actually video from the Safeway in the Pearl. And on top of the swarm of shoppers, staff say deliveries were backed up because trucks got stuck in the snow and ice yesterday. Obviously, by yesterday afternoon or so, everyone kind of calmed down and people were laughing about what a real emergency would look like. Take a listen.
I think that they're thinking they're never going to eat again or something, so they come and just buy everything, and then, they wake up and there's no snow now. So it was interesting.
Yeah, womp womp. So to be clear, Safeway says they watch the forecast too, and they stock up for rushes like this. Good to know. Well, if you haven't done it yet, hey, now is the time. We've got a new KGW weather app for you. It has the weather for your exact location, hour by hour, along with our current forecasts. It's free to download on your app store. Do it. It's super valuable. Well, some Portlanders, kind of as we alluded to in that Safeway story, were actually pretty bummed that the snow didn't hit their area. And if that's you, then maybe a trip to Seattle is in order. People there are hitting the slopes without even leaving their neighborhoods. Such a weird visual. And then later, after battling addiction and other issues, a group of Oregon teens are on the trip of a lifetime. How their music helped them get all the way to the Grammys.
Morning. Morning. What are you eating for breakfast?
An energy bar.
That's a candy bar in gym clothes. You should eat eggs.
Names of the 4 agents who are following me, or you'll never see your daughter again.
I wake up every day knowing that people are dead because of me. I made a choice to save my daughter.
Don't miss the President's Day sale at Mattress Firm. For a limited time, take home a king for the price of a queen and a queen for the price of a twin. Like a Serta Memory Foam Queen mattress, now just $397. Your budget's Hurry in, your budget stretches further.
Yeah, so you might have seen some people were a bit disappointed that they didn't get the snow they were anticipating yesterday. Hashtag snow disappointment across social media. Salmon had his ruler out, ready to go to measure the 0 inches of snow in his backyard in Hillsboro. Sorry, dude. All right, Eric's ruler, though, getting a little more to measure, and that's being generous, but still not much. We shall rebuild, he says. He's being dramatic. And the snow plow all ready to go for the day. Left a little bored. So sad. MH Wilcox also sending us this photo on Instagram of a very bare but slightly wet West Burnside. The sign says, chain up. Yeah, maybe not. Very cute. That was from Cassidy. Very nice. All right, well, the snow in Seattle means closed streets, and some people put those empty streets to good use. Check this out. Skiers and snowboarders certainly earning their runs on Queen Anne Hill, of all places, near the Seattle City Center. No ski lifts there, obviously. First world problems galore, so they hiked with all their gear up the hill and then quickly rode down to the bottom. Dogs in the snow, by the way, absolute best part of this system. All right, meantime, brave souls showing up for a massive snowball fight in Tacoma. Word spread there on social media, and check out all the people who showed up at Wright Park. Again, this is in Tacoma. They took it seriously. They came with shields, goggles, and of course, courage. Good job, guys. All right, Rod is coming up next with your full forecast. Again, we could be bracing for round 2 at this point, so it's always good to be prepared. But first, here is today's ski report.
This ski report is brought to you by your Northwest Honda dealers.
Standard TV and Appliance asks, what do you want in new appliances?
Meteorologist Rod Hill is on it, alerting you first.
Super cold.
School closures and delays updated fast.
Snow rotating.
Traffic expert Chris McGinnis helping you stay safe.
Really treacherous. The traffic is almost stopped.
Whether you've lived here your whole life,
here's our storm coming,
or it's your first winter.
This is not normal.
The most accurate.
The snow bullseye.
Most trusted morning team. KGW News at Sunrise. Weekdays starting at 4:30 a.m.
The 2019 Toyota Prius all-wheel drive E. The first Toyota Prius with all-wheel drive is one with nature and the road.
I'm not mad at you. Who's mad?
Well, you know, it turned out to be something else. I mean, picture this. You're the forecaster.
Right.
And you're going to tell people, well, if you live near 205 and especially just east, you could get 6 inches of snow. Now, if you live on the other side of the West Hills in Beaverton, you're probably not going to get anything.
Yeah.
Think about being a person to make that call. My point is, as far as I know, the science of meteorology just isn't good enough to make that kind of a call over, what, a 20-some-mile radius.
Well, that's incredible.
Of no snow to 6 inches and even more in some cases. So let's get you going. We'll see if we can nail down what's going to happen next. We have pretty quiet weather. There's that snow up in eastern Washington right now, but just maybe a flurry in your neighborhood. Primarily, we got some flurries showing up out around Sandy this morning. We think this is going to be a quiet day until we get into mid-afternoon. I do want to tackle our next bit of moisture coming in. This is green. That would be rain on radar coming in at 2:30 this afternoon at the coast. And then around 4 o'clock, we'll start to look for it crossing I-5, moving into Portland and Salem. Now, there's something different with this batch. Last time, remember, it was going to be all snow, which for the most part it was, just that not everybody got snow, right? But this time around, the atmosphere is trying to warm, so we could be looking at areas of freezing rain and sleet. So that's nasty, and that's what this kind of salmon color shows you up in Longview at 4 o'clock, snow over the Coast Range. But notice, although it's going to be a close call, this really should be nearly all rain for Portland down into Salem. This shows a bit of a mix up around Salmon Creek. There's that icy mix over on the east side. East winds out near the gorge have weakened, by the way. And they're blowing about 15 miles per hour right now, but clearly we're eyeing cold spots on the east side. At 9 o'clock tonight, again, this would be freezing rain or sleet on top of the snow that would still be on the ground. So that's really nasty stuff. This shows it knifing into about Oregon City and Gladstone, and an icy snow mix coming in parts of the Sunset Highway. Eventually, this push of moisture coming in tonight will get warmer and warmer, and more of us will just start to see all rain. So we think the lowlands of Portland and Salem, and the heart of downtown Vancouver, a mix at some point going into this evening, but mostly rain. The east side, we're looking for that icy mix, which again could be freezing rain or sleet. That could get really nasty. 500 feet looks to be the initial snow level. That'd be 2 to 4 inches of snow tonight. You would get more like 4 if you're up closer to 1,000 feet because the snow level actually goes up tonight. Kelso on that icy mix to rain, and Salem mostly rain. Again, that develops late afternoon and runs through this evening. 28 degrees, plenty cold, but the cloud deck stayed pretty solid last night. Remember, I thought we'd wake up to about 20 degrees this morning, but the clouds did not break in most spots. So it's warmer. So that's good news, right? 30 degrees in downtown, 25, though, out in Hillsboro. I mean, I'm saying warmer, but it's not like it's toasty out there. It's 29 degrees down at McNary Field in Salem right now. We have freezing numbers at the coast, 28 up in Kelso. Burns, good morning to you. A special good morning to Burns, where it's only 1 degree. All right, here's a look at some forecast numbers then. We saw the Futurecast bringing rain to the beach at about 2 o'clock this afternoon. And when you get up into elevation a little bit, there could be a mixy period here as well. It will be snow developing tonight over the Coast Range, which was an absolute mess for travel yesterday. Make sure you check those conditions before you attempt to drive over the Coast Range. A quiet day, some flurries up on the mountain. And tonight it's 4 to 7 inches of snow, really cold. Timberline only about 15. Government Camp about 22 degrees today. And then out in the gorge, I-84 is completely snow-covered much of yesterday. Again, check these conditions. I'll be showing you some cameras the next time I see you coming up this morning. Hood River only about 32. The Dow's only 29. This is 4 to 8 inches more snow in the gorge coming in tonight. And here's our 7-day forecast. So we get up to 36 today, maybe warmer. I was surprised we got to 36 yesterday. 39 tomorrow. For Portland, really, it ought to be mostly rain eventually tonight through the day tomorrow, and really even mostly rain for Portland into Tuesday. But later in the day, there's a chance that temperatures fall and we start getting into some sort of a mix. Wednesday still is mostly dry, and that's a dry stretch that could go through most of Thursday before some rain develops, and then we have another potential mix going into Friday. By the way, one of the headlines on KGW.com, I urge you to go there and read our weather words as well. 20 to 40 inches of snow potentially from tonight up at Mount Hood through Tuesday night. The 20 inches would be at Government Camp, and the 40 inches would be potentially at Mount Hood Meadows and Timberline, and a foot of snow tonight through tomorrow in places like Hood River.
Okay, crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I want to be clear. When I say no one's mad at you, if they are, then they weren't listening when you said there are a lot of possibilities in this storm.
But to be clear, speaking just for myself, I thought this would at least be widespread enough that we would all get some snow on the ground.
Oh.
And it turned out where we just didn't get cold on the other side of the West Hills, which completely fooled me. But it's a reminder, if you think this is a perfect science and if weather forecasters don't get it right, they're idiots, you're not really dealing with reality either.
Nicely done.
Well, that's true.
All right, Rod, thank you. We'll check in a little bit here. All right, some local teens coming up are headed to the Grammys tonight, and this trip is about way more than getting glammed up. Their story coming up next.
People with type 2 diabetes are excited about the potential of once-weekly Ozempic. In a study with Ozempic, a majority of adults lowered their blood sugar and reached an A1C of less than 7 and maintained it.
Oh, under 7?
And you may lose weight. In the same one-year study, adults lost on average up to 12 pounds.
Oh, up to 12 pounds?
A 2-year study showed that Ozempic does not increase the risk of major cardiovascular events like heart attack, stroke, or death.
Oh, no increased risk.
Ozempic should not be the first medicine for treating diabetes or for people with type 1 diabetes or diabetic ketoacidosis. Do not share needles or pens. Don't reuse needles. Do not take Ozempic if you have a personal or family history of medullary thyroid cancer, multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2, or if you are allergic to Ozempic. Stop taking Ozempic and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, itching, rash, or trouble breathing. Serious side effects may happen, including pancreatitis. Tell your doctor if you have diabetic retinopathy or vision changes. Taking Ozempic with a sulfonylurea or insulin may increase the risk for low blood sugar. Common side effects are nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, stomach pain, and constipation. Some side effects can lead to dehydration, which may worsen kidney problems.
I discovered the potential with Ozempic.
Ask your healthcare provider if Ozempic is right for you.
Taxes take forever, so complete your simple taxes in 10 minutes with TaxAct. Know what else takes forever? Lawn mowing. We made that faster too. Complete your simple federal taxes for free in 10 minutes with TaxAct.
Whether your home has a crawl space or a basement, Terra Firma is the name to know. Because comfort inside your home depends a lot on what's under your home. That's why Terra Firma specializes in keeping crawl spaces and basements clean and dry. We can help stop allergy-causing mold and mildew and improve your indoor air quality so you and your family can breathe easier in a safer and more comfortable home. Call Terra Firma today for a free inspection and estimate and keep your home dry and comfortable.
There's a new $1, $2, $3 menu hack at McDonald's.
Now you can choose 2 of your favorites for just $3.
Like a savory sausage McMuffin.
A classic McDouble.
Or a crispy McChicken.
You can even mix them up, only at McDonald's.
Nice soothing music, isn't it? Well, speaking of, the Grammys are tonight, and a group of teens from Salem are actually going to be there in person. They earned their trip by putting their own struggles with addiction into music, and then they won a songwriting contest. KGW's Lindsay Nadrich has their story.
It's this song that's getting 18-year-old David Bond and 17-year-old Andrew McMain's notice. But this is about much more than music.
I just got really low in life, and I was just like, sure, let's smoke, let's just get high so I can forget.
I did some hard drugs and stuff in the past. Not really hard drugs, but drugs that didn't do me good in the end.
Both struggled with drug addiction from a young age and ended up in treatment at Bridgeway Recovery Services in Salem, where they met therapist Sunny Sotlamakia.
I see drug use as a symptom of a deeper problem, and usually it's of pain of some kind. And for so long in how we've looked at drug use as let's treat the drug use, but really we need to treat what's behind the drug use.
Song lyrics hang on the wall of a music studio in the basement of Bridgeway.
No organism to tell me what isn't, that's just my own business.
This is a space where they can express what drug use has cost them and how they're moving forward.
Music is just a platform that has enabled them to reshape their lives, retell their stories, reframe their stories, have a healthy relationship with their parents again.
Me and Drew, I feel like we can both make huge differences in our lives that no one would come to expect up until 9.
David and Andrew each wrote a verse. Sonny helped them produce it and enter it into a national contest. The song is called Lost.
My verse is about my mindset when I'm like under the influence. I talk about how confusing my life has gotten and like how many people I've like hurt.
So confusing cause all the drugs I was using, my health and brain I've abused. And
neither David or Andrew expected their song to take first place, but it did. Now they're headed to the Grammys.
I told some of my friends about it and they don't believe me.
It's just intensely surreal.
Their lives are changed, you know? So to be a 17-year-old kid and go to the Grammys, like, dude, come on, right? Like, and it was through your addictions counseling program, like, nobody wants to come to treatment anyway. So like, but now they get to go to the Grammys because of it? Like, dude, get out of here.
It's an experience that's changed their lives. They now hope their song helps others do the same.
Life's hard and drugs seem like the answer right now, but at a certain point in your life, you're going to realize that you have to change.
Tell me the cost, tell me the price.
Reporting in Salem, I'm Lindsay Nadrich. KGW News.
It's beautiful music.
It's such beautiful music. Hats off to them. It's crazy when you see someone that young overcoming something that much more difficult than you've ever even encountered.
Yeah. So we're all going to be watching tonight, see if we get a shot of them, right? They're at the Grammys.
That's right. It'll be like watching the Super
see.
Bowl. It'll be way more exciting than the Super Bowl.
That's true.
We'll be right back.
For comfort food at a comfortable price, try my sourdough.
News at sunrise.
PDX is open and operating. That's the message from the airport this morning. They're asking people to check with their airlines per common practice, but they're just letting people know that the weather, even though it was kind of dicey around the airport yesterday, has cleared up quite a bit. So good to know this morning. Hey, everybody, I'm Maggie Vespa standing alongside Rod Hill. You know, I was kind of joking with our producer just now. It's not like O'Hare shuts down every winter in Chicago. So I think it's really nice of PDX to say that. But just going to keep the message out.
But I assume they had at least some delays, I'm assuming, from de-icing equipment.
Well, they did,
because
but that's up to the airlines. The airport's not going to shut down. So, yeah, but good to know. So, again, always check with your airlines before you head out there and check trip check before you hit the road, period.
The restrooms and the restaurants are open. That's what you're saying at the airport. Okay. Is it my turn now?
It's your turn,
It's my
Rod.
turn.
How is the weather? You go.
Good morning. Let's get you updated. You know, it didn't get as cold last night as we thought it would because the clouds didn't really break as you take a live look at Pioneer Courthouse Square. We measured, by the way, less than 1/2 of an inch of snow early yesterday morning. That officially went into the climate book for downtown Portland. The airport, though, had about 4 inches of snow. Not the airport, but the National Weather Service office where they measure it, and that's just on the east side of 205. All right, 28 at the airport, but 30 in downtown Portland. I mean, it's cold outside. 24 in Forest Grove, 23 up in Battleground. Sandy, good morning to you. 25. Salem, good morning to you. 29. So really, unlike 24 hours ago, everybody is at least freezing this morning. But this is not going to be a bad day. Outside of a stray flurry, we are dry this morning. We'll be dry at lunchtime. We'll pop up above freezing, 34 degrees. Now, notice at 5 p.m., that's our next round of moisture coming in. And this one, for some areas, could contain some freezing rain or sleet. We're going to break that down more for you coming up in just a bit. And now I'm told that I come back and stand next to Maggie.
Well, Rod, you know why we're standing here is look to your right. Who's that?
Oh, it's Keely Chalmers.
Yeah, we got Keely Chalmers standing by. She's in Drive 8 this morning checking out the roads. Keely, how's it going?
Hey, well, we've moved into East County, Troutdale. The roads that were dry in Portland, roads out here not dry. In fact, they are covered in snow and ice. I'm going to give you a live look. This is actually Cherry Park heading into Gleason. This is going to turn, this road that we're on is going to turn into Gleason up here. And you can see from the sheen there that this is still ice covered. This is what we saw almost the moment, basically, we got off of I-84 into East County. Not only are the roads slick, the main roads even are slick out here. We've got roads that are in some areas closed. I believe 238. I think actually this is where 238 is. You can see right here. There it is. The road closed sign. I mean, check out the sheen on the road here. This is total ice out here. So while the highways are clear and some of the off-ramps and on-ramps are just a little bit icy, a little slick in spots, you head out here to East County. Now, this is actually Gleason, where Cherry Park has turned into Gleason. And this is a main road here, and it is still pretty snow-covered, still icy in spots. So again, if you're heading out into East County, you're definitely going to want to be prepared for some slick conditions. If you're heading into the side roads, like the residential areas out here, certainly they are snow-covered and slick. And again, as ODOT mentioned earlier, if you're heading even on I-84 into the gorge, you're going to want to have your chains, if not snow tires on your vehicles, because it is going to get dicey out there. So yeah, definitely a different scene. Rod was talking about the difference in one area to the next when it comes to snow accumulation. Well, that goes this morning for road conditions. While it might be dry and pretty clear out in Portland, out here in East County, the roads are still slick. We'll be roaming the roads out here, and we'll give you an update in the next half hour. Maggie, back.
Oh, I love a good alliteration. Roaming the roads for us. Keely, thank you so much. Stay safe out there. Well, speaking of, there was no shortage of scares on the roads yesterday. With all that snow and ice that we saw, crashes were just piling up. It was crazy to watch. And this one right here trapped an SUV driver and shut down the ramp from I-5 South to I-84 East for more than 5 hours. And in fact, Sky 8 was over the scene when crews pulled Alex Ream Sapiano out of his SUV. There's one of those Portland Fire and Rescue crews right there. He'd been stuck, wedged between that Love's fuel truck and the barrier on the outside of that overpass. You can see his truck is kind of like crunched in there. Amazingly, his SUV, again, crunched it on the passenger side, but hours later, he was freed, and his car still drove just fine. He drove it away from the scene, and he's okay. Well, no secret that road crews have been extremely busy with crashes like that this weekend. So once again, we're to check in now with PBOT spokesperson Dylan Rivera this morning. He's on the phone. Dylan, good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing? How do you think crews handled yesterday's snow yesterday? To be clear, it was yesterday.
Well, it was very challenging. This was different than a lot of events where the West Hills are hit harder. This one was more East County primarily and East Portland, and that's where we've been focusing. We've been adding trucks on routes in East Portland to try to break up that ice, but folks this morning may still find patches of ice on some streets in East Portland, so use caution.
Yeah, definitely. When we first started kind of seeing how things were shaping up, kind of getting into mid-morning and whatnot, people were tweeting at us saying that it was obvious to them that the east side of the city was getting hit harder, and they were seeing or hearing about crews working on the west side, and they were wondering if that was kind of a misallocation of resources. Was that perception accurate in your mind, or what do you think about that?
No, well, we will deploy resources where they're needed and react to the conditions that are presented to us. It's not often easy to predict or accurate to predict where the conditions will be most severe, and so we observe what we see on the ground and respond to it. And what we've done already overnight last night was add additional trucks and resources in the east of 205 in the city limits. That area is harder hit. I mean, it's just every storm is different. Sometimes it is the gorge winds that we've been presented with this event. Sometimes it's more all about elevation and the west side. And so this one is very much a gorge winds affected event, and we'll continue to focus on our resources east of I-205 because that's where the most severe conditions are.
Okay, gotcha. We have another possible round headed our way. Oh, joy. So what's the process moving forward to gear up for that?
Well, we are continuing to deploy salt on our salt routes, and in fact, we've added a test of using salt and gravel together on additional about 30 miles of streets. A lot of those are in East Portland, like 122nd, like Southeast Foster, like 148th. And so, so far, that's producing some results. On the west side, we have removed the the carry chains requirement on West Burnside. We've also removed the chain up area on West Burnside to free up an additional travel lane, and remove the requirement on Sam Jackson, but the chain up area is still in place on Sam Jackson leading to OHSU.
Okay, gotcha. Well, Dylan, I really appreciate your time this morning. I know yesterday was kind of crazy and there's still a lot to watch today, so thank you so much for calling in.
You bet. Thanks for having me.
All right, sounds good. We'll check in with you soon. Well, the farther north you went, the more intense the snow got. In fact, case in point, southwest Washington, 3 or 4 inches came down in Yakult. More than half a foot came down in Kalama and Longview. And our crew also caught up with a couple who just moved here from Tennessee, and they're experiencing Pacific Northwest snow for the very first time.
It's a little bit wetter than I thought, but that's okay because we like the, cold and the damp, and the roads clear a lot quicker than I thought they would. But, the back roads are still a little dicey.
Well, that's very positive. Give them time. No, I'm just kidding. All right, Camas topped the Southwest Washington totals list, though. They got 8 inches of snow yesterday. And hey, to that couple and everybody else, if you haven't downloaded it yet, now's a great time. We've got a new KGW weather app for you. It has the weather for your exact location, hour by hour, along with the current forecast. It's free to download on your app store. And in other news this morning, it's official now. Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren is running for president. Warren says she is running against a, quote, rigged system that props up the rich and powerful and kicks dirt on everyone else, end quote. She also said she will fight for big structural change.
But today, the home ownership gap between black and white families is 30 percentage points, bigger than it was back in 1960 when housing discrimination was actually legal. Race matters, and we need to say so.
Senator Warren made no mention during her kickoff speech about her past claims of identifying as a Native American. She has apologized for that multiple times before. A Trump campaign manager says Warren has been, quote, exposed as a fraud by the Native Americans she impersonated and disrespected to advance her professional career, end quote. Doctors say 7 detainees at a Houston ICE facility have come down with mumps. One person went to the hospital for treatment. The others are being put in isolation and treated at the facility, and the health department is working with staff there. Well, Rod Hill is still to come with your full Sunday forecast. He'll tell us what the next 24 hours have in store for us. Plus, this is incredible. What a group of people did to pull off one impressive world record and why it was such a challenge.
In severe weather season, be ready for anything.
Another round of snow.
Didn't take much the other day to make a mess.
The KGW Storm Team.
It is blowing like crazy.
Tracking rain, flooding, wind, snow, and ice.
Another storm develops.
Know what's coming. Download the new Portland weather app from KGW for severe weather alerts on the go. Rod in the morning.
What's going on right now?
Matt at night.
Keep that in mind.
Keeping you prepared and out of harm's way. Rely on the KGW Storm.
So you may have seen these before. They're so-called ice carousels carved in frozen lakes or rivers, and then they're motorized. I've never seen these before. They became popular in Finland, but a group of friends in Minnesota just had to have that world record. Boyd Hubert takes us there.
It's just the perfect day out.
Minnesotans are used to making circles in the ice.
Something nibbling on it.
Symmetry that gets us through the winter.
You can get cabin fever very, very quick.
But lately, our winter circles have been getting an upgrade.
Fingers crossed.
Chuck Swilling first saw an ice carousel 2 winters ago on YouTube. A Finlander named Jana had cut the circle in the ice, viewed online by hundreds of thousands of people who smiled and went back to their lives. While Chuck saw things bigger.
We got about 8 feet done, only 1,342 more feet to go.
That would be roughly a quarter mile around the world's largest ice carousel.
We're creating the gap that will let it spin.
And this is not Chuck's first attempt.
Keep it good and tight, Gary.
That's Chuck last winter, as one jury-rigged cutting machine broke down.
The blade is hitting.
Then, another. Chuck's 2018 attempt defined by a lame quarter spin and near tragedy when a skid steer went through the ice.
That kind of killed the whole buzz. I want another crack at it, yeah, and I want it to spin.
And what do you know?
One step across.
This time,
Welcome.
it did.
It's a strange feeling, even though it's moving slowly. It's just odd.
Our carousel is powered by 4 trolling motors.
It's weird because I feel like that side is moving when we're really moving, and we were over there at one point, and now we're over here.
And look who's here.
I'm Janne Käpylehto, the chairman of the World Ice Carousel Association.
Remember that trend-setting YouTube video from Finland?
After that, I've done about 50.
Jana is the man who brought an old Finnish tradition back.
100 years ago in Finland, There has been ice carousels, but it was basically forgotten.
Now he's created an organization.
It's always exciting and fun.
To certify ice carousel world records.
We're going to measure the size of the circle to make sure we're the largest in the world.
Chuck's chances seem good, with a carousel large enough to host within it a hockey rink, a curling sheet, and a speed skating track. Plus,
it feels weird.
Several smaller carousels within the larger one.
Whoa, in the water.
And this guy.
I'm Roger Morneau, and I'm here because I'm the current world record holder for the world's largest ice carousel.
Roger's team built this carousel last winter near his home in Maine, nearly a football field and a half across.
I cut 20 feet out of his tape measure, so I hope he doesn't notice it. 74 feet. 500 right there.
Final measurement?
That's close enough.
Yeah. 508 feet.
Congratulations. Where's that trophy? This is the trophy. It's going to surely bring a gigantic smile to his face and an even larger frown to mine to have to turn it over. Now it's going to be in Little Falls, Minnesota for how long? We don't really know. Even the little chainsaw even turns on it. Ow, geez, it does work.
The sting.
It's official. Thanks, Roger.
Congrats.
Thanks for bringing with and letting it go. We're glad we're not sending it back. We're glad we're not sending it back home with you.
Despite last year's disappointment, Chuck's ice carousel finally came full circle.
Add a little excitement in the middle of the winter.
So awesome. That was Boyd Hooper reporting. What was your take on that, by the way?
Well, I mean, it's not that it's turning really fast, so I simply said kind of a slow way to spend your day, but
it's so beautiful and impressive.
I applaud their embracement of the winter season, though, right?
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Okay. Well, hey, speaking of embracing the winter season, check out this video. We're so proud of him. Our photographer, KGW photographer extraordinaire, Ken McCormick didn't have to work yesterday. I think there was a mistake with the schedule. So instead, he sped up to Mount Hood, and he went skiing, and he shot us this GoPro video of him tearing up the slopes. Awesome point of view of his skills up on Mount Hood and the conditions up there.
Ken is really good. I hear.
Yeah, he is.
Like, you know, ski patrol type, really good.
Yeah. Well, you know what's crazy? I've only been lucky enough to shoot a couple stories with him up on the mountain, but he always says we get our interviews and we, get video of kind of going up the mountain, and then he goes, okay, you good? And I said, sure. And he said, okay. And he takes his big, expensive, clunky photographer news camera and goes and skis a couple runs.
Yeah.
He said, I'm just going to go get our video. And then that's his fun for the day, too. So working with Ken is cake. It's awesome.
Ken, I'm sure you will never have a snow day off again. Here's a look at Happy Valley. This was yesterday. It was a fun snow day. If I was given the dog's name, I don't remember it, but Diane sent this picture in. Beautiful close-up there. Of course, it was the east side, as we know now, that got the snow, and the north side, not so much the south, not so much the west. I don't know where this is. It's up in Washington, but what a absolutely gorgeous shot, right? Joe Newton sent me in this picture. Just beautiful. Again, I'm KGW Rod Hill on Facebook, and that's where I go to get the pictures that I put on during my weathercast. So invite you to join in there. All right. We're dry this morning. We're dry at lunchtime. Here we are with our next round of moisture coming in. This is 3 o'clock at the beach. The green is rain, getting into a bit of an icy mix, and then snow as it moves into the coast range. Here we are at 4:30, so later this afternoon. Now we're getting what should be at the lowest elevations from downtown Vancouver through Portland, Salem, primarily rain. But this will be another close call. Keep an eye on what it's doing at your house. Again, the green is rain. Now, this will bring a challenge that the last storm did not. The last storm, we said clearly would be all snow, which it was. It's just that some areas didn't really get anything, or it actually stayed just warm enough that the snowflakes melted right before they touched the ground. But anyway, here we are at 6:30. This is showing rain up the heart of I-5. But all the salmon color, that's the potential of sleet and freezing rain mixed in with this. Here we are at 10 p.m. If this is correct, this is our highest resolution model, it would show a mixture of freezing rain and sleet through Oregon City, Lake Oswego, down through Tigard perhaps, over much of the east side. So this could get to be an icy mix, which would be worse probably than yesterday's snow, right? So we're keeping an eye on the fact that this next batch of moisture coming in late this afternoon and this evening. If our ground temperatures get down below freezing, this will be more of an icy mess for some of us and not so much snow unless you're above 500 feet where we think the initial snow level will be. So we're going 2 to as much as 4 inches between 500 feet and up to 1,000 feet in the hills. Kelso, we think, eventually turns to rain overnight. Salem should stay mostly rain. And I really think at least downtown Portland, while there could be some mix at some point, primarily will turn into rain, and then we have a rainy Monday for the majority of us. Getting a little brightness in the sky now from our Wells Fargo camera. We're at 28 degrees outside. We are dry, minus just a stray flurry of blowing around. Cold spot clearly burns at 1. Good morning to you folks. You have the chance of mainly just some flurries today, by the way. And we're upper 20s up and down I-5, including all the way to Seattle, where it's 28 degrees. So the forecast. We have the PM rain showers moving in, maybe as early as 2 o'clock at the beach. Looking for that to be an icy mix that eventually becomes all snow up into the Coast Range tonight, where there could be the Coast Range easily could get 4 inches of snow accumulation tonight. Down in the valley, the mid-valley, Salem gets up to about 42 today. So primarily rain, but we'll keep an eye on the chance that some areas could get caught with a bit of an icy mix. Better chance of an icy mix at times up in Clark County up through Longview, daytime highs in the mid-30s. And this shows fairly steady temperatures tonight, but there will be some pockets probably flirt with 31, 32. That would set up the potential for some icy areas. Up on the mountain, it's dry during the daytime. It's 4 to 7 inches of snow coming in overnight tonight. And by the way, this is more snow in the gorge coming in tonight to the tune of 4 to 8 inches. And the gorge will see primarily snow tomorrow as well. And real quick, I'm running out of time, but I want to show you everybody's temperatures at 3 o'clock. Another chilly day out east with highs in the 20s and primarily just some scattered snow showers. And there we are. So the lowlands of Portland and the I-5 Valley, Willamette Valley, I think is more rain than anything else as we go into tonight, Monday and Tuesday. Okay. But again, there will be periods of time where we'll be watching the chance of a wintry mix.
Yeah, well, it's good to keep watching it. This thing's been changing quite a bit. Yeah. Rod, thank you so much. Orlando's got your sportscast next.
Driving in winter weather can be dangerous, so is your car ready? Well, you can use this check.
Figure it out, and one night it's going to be one thing, and maybe the next night it won't.
Good morning, everyone. Blazers head coach Terry Stotts has a challenge on his hands. There might not be enough playing time to go around, especially with the addition of guard Rodney Hood. In his first game with Portland, he had 14 points in 25 minutes. Now, if Hood has this type of production moving forward, some guys are going to be sitting on the bench more than they'd like. Maurice Harkless has seen his playing time drop the past few games. And the same goes for Zach Collins, who was on the court for a total of 15 minutes over the last 2 games. Damian Lillard used the word sacrifice to describe it.
Obviously, some guys may have to sacrifice more than others, but, that's all a part of it. We want to be better, we want to improve, and he's somebody that can help our team, so we got to find a way to work him in, and we got to be willing to sacrifice for each other and for the greater good of the team.
Here's what's next. The Blazers visit the Dallas Mavericks today. Game time is at noon. The Mavs sport a losing record, but they've been pretty good at home. They split wins in their first 2 meetings, but that was back in December. 4 of the Mavericks' 5 starters aren't even on the team anymore. The Oregon State Beavers have emerged as one of the top teams in the Pac-12, but they got punked on Thursday at home against Stanford. Well, the Beavs bounced back against last place Cal.
Here comes Trace Tinkle taking on Vanover, and he throws it down.
Oh my goodness, Trace Tinkle with the highlight of the night, rattling the rim at Guild Coliseum. He dropped 19 on the Golden Bears, and the Thompson brothers combined for 41 points. The Beavs win 79-71. They're 7-4 in conference play. That means OSU is in a 3-way tie for second place with Utah and Arizona State. The Sun Devils handed Washington its first conference loss of the season. It was opening night for the new league called Alliance of American Football. And there's former Oregon State Beaver coach Mike Riley getting the Gatorade bath in his first game on the job as head coach of the San Antonio Commanders. They beat the San Diego Fleets. Now, this is the play you'll see all over social media. The quarterback gets destroyed, and somehow, folks, he walked away from that. The only thing more popular than hitting up your local grocery store during the snowpocalypse is Friday Night Hoops. And we've got you covered when it comes to boys and girls high school basketball, but we need your help picking the game of the week. There's 4 options to choose from: McMinnville, Glencoe, Westland, Oregon City Tigers, Lakeville, Silverton, North Salem. I'm talking to you. Just head over to KGW.com to vote, and we will announce the winner right here on Wednesday. That's going to do it for your morning look at sports. Have a great day.
Weekday mornings, KGW meteorologist Rod Hill is on it, alerting you first.
Super cold.
School closures and delays updated fast.
Snow rotating.
Traffic expert Chris McGinnis helping you stay safe.
Really treacherous. The traffic is almost stopped.
Whether you've lived here your whole life,
here's our storm coming,
or it's your first winter,
this is not normal.
The most accurate,
the snow bullseye,
most trusted morning team. KGW News at Sunrise. Weekdays starting at 4:30 a.m.
People with type 2 diabetes are excited about the potential of once-weekly Ozempic. In a study with Ozempic, a majority of adults lowered their blood sugar and reached an A1C of less than 7 and maintained it.
Oh, under 7?
And you may lose weight. In the same one-year study, adults lost on average up to 12 pounds.
Oh, up to 12 pounds?
A 2-year study showed that Ozempic does not increase the risk of major cardiovascular events like heart attack, stroke, or death.
Oh, no increased risk.
Ozempic should not be the first medicine for treating diabetes or for people with type 1 diabetes or diabetic ketoacidosis. Do not share needles or pens. Don't reuse needles. Do not take Ozempic if you have a personal or family history of medullary thyroid cancer, multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2, or if you are allergic to Ozempic. Stop taking Ozempic and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, itching, rash, or trouble breathing. Serious side effects may happen, including pancreatitis. Tell your doctor if you have diabetic retinopathy or vision changes. Taking Ozempic with a sulfonylurea or insulin may increase the risk for low blood sugar. Common side effects are nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, stomach pain, and constipation. Some side effects can lead to dehydration, which may worsen kidney problems.
I discovered the potential with Ozempic.
Ask your healthcare provider if Ozempic is right for you.
Standard TV and Appliance asks, what do you want in new appliances?
Do you want GE's gas, electric, convection, induction, stainless steel, Slate, French door, Energy Star, top load, front load, high efficiency, or huge capacity?
I want it all. Yeah, I want everything.
Refresh and save with GE Cafe. Upgrade your kitchen and save up to $1,500 when you buy 4 GE Cafe appliances. Standard TV and Appliance.
Download the new Portland weather app from KGW. This is KGW News at Sunrise.
Good morning, everybody. Mother Nature giving us a break on this Sunday, and drivers are grateful. Crashes and stalls piled up for hours yesterday. And now we're bracing for the next round. Deep breaths, everybody. I'm Maggie Vespa. Thank you for joining us on your Sunday. It is 7:01 on the dot. And hey, we've got Keely Chalmers out on the roads, keeping an eye on them for you this morning in Drive 8. We've also got Rod Hill in on a Sunday. What a nice treat. Hey, Rod.
Good morning. So Maggie mentioned it's a nice quiet start to our day. We're dry. We have some breaks in the cloud cover. Temperatures are generally in the mid to upper 20s. I want to show you what we're now tracking. This is Futurecast at 10 p.m. tonight. And what will be different with this next batch? Last time it was basically all snow unless you weren't warm enough for snow. But this time we think there will be a mixture potentially of sleet and freezing rain mixed in. And at 10 o'clock tonight, that's what all this salmon color is, which blankets the east side. There's Oregon City. The green would be rain in downtown Portland. But that's our next round of moisture coming in later today into this evening. Now let's back up to right now. Wells Fargo camera. There's the nice break in the cloud cover. There's your temperature of 28 degrees. We should easily rise up above freezing by lunchtime. I have us at 34. And then moisture could arrive in that 4 to 5 o'clock hour this afternoon. More on all of that, Maggie, coming up.
All right, Rod, sounds good. Thank you. Well, as I mentioned, Keely's out on the roads for us this morning. Keely, you were in Wood Village last time we checked in. Where are you now?
Well, we've actually moved a little west. We're now back in southeast Portland. I'll show you. We're on southeast Stark right now. Here's a live look at the roadway, and even the farther east the farther west you go, if at least a few blocks, it is still icy and snow-packed here. I would say probably we went down Gleason. We took a left on 122nd, because we're talking about 122nd earlier with ODOT, and actually it looked pretty good. That is traditionally a problem roadway, and you could clearly see there was gravel on it. So 122nd looking pretty good. We're now on Southeast Stark heading back toward the east, and you can see here at the intersections there's a good amount of gravel, still slick, still snow-packed. It looked like one lane was actually looking pretty good, so drivers kind of sticking to one lane. The other lane to the right was fairly snow-packed and icy. But again, I mean, this is the situation. You head east of I-205, and this is what you're going to find. You're going to find some slick spots, some snow-covered roads still, the residential side streets still snow-packed and icy. In fact, we were going to actually turn off on one of them because our IFB, our audio dropped out, but we're like, we're not even going to turn down there because it looked so slick and icy. But again, obviously you can see the sheen on the roadway. Still very slick conditions out here, and we're not seeing any melting either, at least not yet. May see that happen a little bit later on in the day, but we haven't seen any melting. Still just snow-packed and slick streets out here again. East County, we're on Southeast Stark heading east, and not seeing too much change over the last hour. But again, we'll be out here for the next hour, and we'll keep you posted if we see anything different. For now, we'll send it back to you, Maggie.
All right, Keely, well, East County definitely got hammered yesterday by that ice and snow, and it looks like, as you said, not a ton has changed, so thank you for checking in on it, and please stay safe out there. We'll see you soon. Well, the road saw plenty of drama yesterday, ice playing a role in several major crashes, and that includes this crash that we watched for hours because it trapped an SUV driver, and it shut down the ramp from I-5 South to I-84 East for 5.5 hours. Oh my, here he comes.
There we go. Wow.
That was so crazy to watch. We were live over the scene. Sky 8 was live over the scene when those fire crews pulled Alex Reem Sapiano out of his SUV. He'd been stuck, wedged between that Love's Fuel truck and the edge of the freeway, that barrier there. He told us later how it all unfolded from his point of view.
A 4Runner had spun out. There was about 6 cars ahead of me. Everyone had slowed to a stop. Then I looked in my rear view, seeing that the semi was coming and not slowing down, or at least not slowing down as quickly as I thought he should have. So I tried to get out of his way because he was on the far side, and then the car in front of me did the same thing, cutting me off, so I had to stop, and then the back end of the semi came out from behind him and hit me.
Yeah, that'll do it. Well, amazingly, his SUV still worked after all of that. The passenger side was kind of crunched in, but hey, drove okay. He drove away from the scene, actually. All right, well, crews have been extremely busy this weekend, especially up in southwest Washington. As we've said, the further north we got, the more intense the snow and ice was. So now we have Celeste Dimicina from WashDOT on the phone with us. Celeste, good morning. Celeste?
She's on one. Yeah, we don't have her.
We do not have her on the phone this morning. I think she's maybe caught within the technological gap there. So we're going to try to get her on the phone for us soon, or at least get you some info from WashDOT's perspective, guys. So let's move on this morning. The cold weather could be to blame for a massive tree that came down in downtown Portland. I think this is actually video of the supermarket madness at the Safeway in the Pearl. That's what this looks like. We found some shelves that were still empty. Managers telling us some delivery trucks headed this way on I-84 couldn't get there because of the ice and snow. But some stores were able to restock yesterday, gearing up for the next rounds of possible snow. And with the mad dash, imagine, they say, what a real emergency would be like.
I think that they're thinking they're never going to eat again or something, so they come and just buy everything, and then, you know, they wake up and there's no snow now, so it was interesting.
So Safeway, like a lot of stores, staff there say they watch the forecast, they anticipate these sellouts. They're smart, they're like the rest of us, they're watching KGW, so they try to over-order so they have plenty of food. But as you can tell, sometimes those mad rushes just kick in. All right, well, if you haven't downloaded it yet, now is a really good time. We've got a new KGW weather app for you. Our meteorologists work on it constantly, giving you weather for your exact location, hour by hour, along with our current forecast. It's free to download on your app store. We'll be right back.
Morning. Morning. What are you eating for breakfast?
An energy bar.
That's a candy bar in gym clothes. You should eat eggs.
Hello, Agent Shepard. I want the names of the 4 agents who are following me, or you'll never see your daughter again.
I wake up every day knowing that people are dead because of me. I made a choice to save my daughter.
Let's talk kitchens. Let's talk dreams. Let's talk KitchenAid. Let's talk savings. Big savings. Save up to $1,600 when you purchase a qualifying KitchenAid kitchen package. Let's talk selection. Let's talk service. Let's talk know-how. Standard TV and appliance, setting the standard since 1947. Let's talk.
Shop Dania Furniture, the premier modern contemporary home furnishings destination. Dania Furniture offers quality craftsmanship at an outstanding value. Shop one of our stores or outlets near you or online at daniafurniture.com.
This is our calling, our time to come together. It's the laughter of kids at Baxter Auto Parts Free Kids Trout Pond. New to the show this year, the Garmin Tech Center. Plus, the backyard barbecue demonstrations. It's a celebration of the senses. And experience seminars from Northwest experts at the Bi-Mart Walleye Alley Tank. This is your tradition. Make it a celebration. The Pacific Northwest Sportsman's Show, presented by Loophole. Join us February 6th through 10th at the Portland Expo Center.
This is where you can discover who you are.
And who you want to be.
Where you can find your place in the world.
And discover how to make it better.
This is the University of Portland.
Welcome back, everybody. Let's try this again. All right, crews have been extremely busy this weekend, especially up in Southwest Washington. Celeste Dimicina from WashDOT should be on the phone at this point. Celeste, can you hear me?
I can hear you guys now. Thank
Yay!
you.
There we go. Okay, so how in your mind do you think yesterday went for your crews out there?
You know, I think it went really well. They plan all year for these types of events, and I mean, the condition of the road shows, you know, how well we were prepared. You know, looking at all of our traffic cameras this morning, things are pretty clear in and around Vancouver. Even heading north up towards, you know, the Kalama area. The trouble spot we're seeing right now is out on SR 14 at the US 97 intersection. We do have the highway closed between Maryhill Museum heading east towards Benton County. The snowdrifts out there were just very overwhelming. They would plow, and no sooner did they plow that the road would be covered in snow again. So just reminder to everybody, if you want to head east, that section of the highway is closed. We don't have an estimate when it'll reopen at this time.
Okay, and are we just talking about snow there, or is there ice on that roadway as well?
A combination of both, yes.
Okay, gotcha. Treatment options, which ones did you guys utilize yesterday, and which ones do you think worked the best?
Sure, we use a combination of de-icer and salt on all of our roads. The crews go out, they do like a pre-treat on the road, plow, come back through, pre-treat again, just to keep things, keep things melted, especially on those overpasses or on and off ramps and the bridges.
Okay, great. Your message to, drivers yesterday, this storm was really interesting because there was such variation in it that some areas got no snow and then some areas really got socked in with snow and ice. People headed out on the roads and some got into trouble, both in Oregon and in Washington. So your thoughts, just from your vantage point, watching that play out yesterday, any future advice when these storms roll in?
When these storms roll in, just a reminder for everybody to plan ahead. I mean, we try to give everybody advance notice, so do you guys, just so that they know what's happening. So, I mean, there's lots of different resources available. There is the news. There is also, lots of different weather apps, weather stations. We also are very active on Twitter. So we just, want people to plan ahead, make sure that they're doing their part. Yesterday was a good example. It looked like a lot of people did, stay home, which was good. So we didn't have a lot of issues.
Okay, great. Well, Celeste Dimicina, thank you so much for calling in and hanging out with us this morning. I'm sure we'll be checking in with you in the near future.
We are here. Thank you.
All right, thanks so much. Well, hey, Rod is coming up next with your full Sunday forecast. But first, here is today's all-important ski report.
This ski report is brought to you by your Northwest Honda dealers.
We're passionate about the discovery, limits meant to be pushed, journeys in need of an explorer, and craftsmanship tailored for adventure. And the new CR-V is fueled by the same drive. It's designed to adapt to any environment and refuses to back down from a challenge. The journey is better with a Honda.
Upgrade to a new CR-V today for only $259 a month. Shop your local Northwest Honda dealer or online at northwesthondadealers.com.
It's really simple. People count on you, and you count on your truck. So we built you the most capable line of Ram heavy-duty trucks yet. The Ram 2500 has best-in-class gas towing, and the Ram 3500 gives you best-in-class fifth-wheel towing and the best resale value. Ram, the longest-lasting
Some people had a little fun with you guys last night. This American Chopper meme is cracking people up. Paul Sr. saying, why do we even watch you if you can't tell us whether it's going to snow? Chance of snow. I said chance of snow. You said 8 inches, Matt Zaffino.
Somebody got 8 inches, by the way.
Higher elevations did get 8 inches.
No, some lower elevations got 8 inches.
It always snows at higher elevations. We want to know about the valley floor.
Sometimes it rains at higher elevations.
What nerds? Who took the time to make that? That's so brilliant.
I get it if you're waking up, you know, in Beaverton and in Salem, the areas that didn't get the storm. But when I go out and speak to, like, the Rotary Club, for example, I talk about the fact that more often than not, overwhelmingly, when we predict these events, what we say is going to happen happens, but often it doesn't happen everywhere. And the fact of the matter is, the science of meteorology, this is reality, is not good enough to say 6 to 8 inches of snow near and just east of 205 and nothing in Beaverton. It's just not good enough to pinpoint that.
Okay. Well,
so think about that. You know, if you were the one that were going to say that, 20 miles from here, nothing, but 8 inches there.
See, but the problem is if you keep putting out those PSAs, those memes are going to stop being made.
But I enjoyed that moment.
I think they're really funny.
I have a sense of humor. You know, and, you know, after the fact, we try to figure out what happened. How did it play out? I have no explanation as to why we didn't get more cold yesterday away from, we had cold north of Portland, we had cold east of Portland, we never really had cold on the west side, we never really had cold on the south side. And if you look at the meteorological setup of that big low and what the temperature fields are that we looked at from modeling, I have no explanation as to why it didn't get colder in those spots. But we know that it simply did not. Okay, now we're looking at the next round of moisture coming in. This hits this afternoon. This is Futurecast at 10 p.m. tonight. This is our most high-resolution model. And what's different this time around is the chance that there'll be a warming layer in the atmosphere that could mean freezing rain and or sleet if we have temperatures that are near freezing. So 10 o'clock tonight, all the salmon color, including Damascus, back into Estacada, would be freezing rain and sleet, with the snow level close to Sandy at about 1,000 feet, and then that would be accumulating snow up higher and upper elevations. Of course, we just learned a moment ago it always snows at upper elevations. Here's a look at a finger of sleet around Beaverton, but otherwise rain in downtown Portland in green, rain in Hillsborough, rain in Vancouver. So kind of a checkerboard mix of ice potential, with the most widespread issues, again, according to that model, being on the east side. So Portland, we think maybe a mix coming in this evening, but mostly it's rain for the main downtown area. The east side we just talked about. 500 feet looks to be the initial snow level if you live in elevation where you could get a couple inches of snow. If you live up closer to 1,000 feet, the snow level goes up overnight, maybe 4 inches. Kelso icy mix, and in Salem we think just mostly rain. Here's a wider Futurecast model, and I'm going to play you a little bit longer time frame. So here we are tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. This shows the I-5 corridor, pretty much rain. It shows maybe there's a mixture, though, up in Longview. And it shows most of the east side now in rain, but snowing heavily in the Gorge and the Cascades. And then again, most of us, it's all rain, even rising snow levels going into noon Monday over the Coast Range Mountains, but still snowing big time over the Cascades and in areas of the Columbia River Gorge, although this would show the West Gorge starting to warm up a little bit. There could be 20 inches of snow at Government Camp and closer to 40 higher on Mount Hood between what starts tonight and falls through Tuesday night. Could be a foot in the Gorge in Hood River from what starts tonight as snow and falls through tomorrow. So we have a lot of snow coming to some areas. Radar right now, you can see some snow mainly around Pendleton and north up into Washington. Just some harmless flurries around Portland. In fact, we had some sun breaks this morning, and we're at 28 degrees outside right now. We're still a few minutes away from the sun being up, I should mention. Current temperatures, 26 Kelso, 28 Portland, 29 Salem. Similar at the beach, 15 out in the East Gorge and the Dalles. And again, this is rain maybe as early as 2 o'clock coming to the coast, and then you get inland a little bit. There might be a bit of an icy mix. We think this is primarily nothing but rain. Look at Salem, 42 today, 37 tonight. That would be just all rain for you folks, obviously. Better chance of a mix of some snow or freezing rain or sleet this evening up in Clark County and Cowlitz County, where the freezing temperatures, or temperatures overnight tonight, I should say, have a chance to get back down to 30 to 32. 47 inches of snow, but not until tonight up on Mount Hood. This is a dry day for skiers headed up that way. And in the Gorge, this is snow coming in overnight tonight, 4 to 8 inches, and then more snow tomorrow. Stick with me because I want to get to a viewer pick real quick. Here's the 7-day Portland, primarily rain, we think, but every day, 24-hour period will have the chance of some wintry mix. Wednesday night, Thursday morning, all look to be dry. I showed one dog picture. Now we're getting lots of dog pictures. This is Jax. Loves the snow. We have one more. This is Emmy playing in Camas, and of course all dressed up to stay warm because why wouldn't you? KGW Rod Hill Facebook is where I get those pictures.
I gotta tell you, I've said it a few times already. I love so much people seeing their dogs' reactions to the snow. It makes all this
They love it.
All right, Rod, thanks so much. Well, hey, speaking of, plenty of people go on a run with their dogs. How about running with a goat? An Oklahoma woman's bizarre training buddy and the story behind it. Next.
Kaiser Permanente Northwest, leading with heart.
In severe weather season, rely on the KGW Storm Team.
Through American ingenuity and expertise, the WeatherTech floor liner has changed the way that vehicle floors are protected. And now we've changed the way to keep your pets safe. The Pet Comfort Feeding System, 100% non-toxic and certified by the NSF. WeatherTech and Pet Comfort, doing it right in America.
This is the best way to explore, on the road or off. This is the best time to get the perfect Ford SUV for you. Get a 2018 Escape with $6,000 total value, only at your local Ford dealer.
The old saying, good things come to those who wait, is just that, old. Those good things, you have to get out there and chase them. We see it in the millions of people we fly around the world, all of them, living proof. Good things come to those who go.
This is our calling, our time to come together. It's the laughter of kids at Baxter Auto Parts Free Kids Trout Pond. Knowing we're prepared thanks to outdoor survival expert Brett Stoffel, presented by your local Toyota dealers. And the pride that comes with entering our trophies in the Head and Horns competition. This is your tradition. Make it a celebration. The Pacific Northwest Sportsman's Show, presented by Loophole. Join us February 6th through 10th at the Portland Expo Center.
Want to create something extraordinary? Create perfection. Thermador's lifestyle appliances make it easy. Right now, save up to $85.46 with our exclusive 1-2 free event. Try before you buy in our live Thermador kitchens. Oregon-based and family-owned, setting the standard since 1947. Standard TV and appliance.
This is the best way to tackle your to-do list. This is the best time to start up your brand new built Ford tub truck. Now get $12,000 total value on a 2018 Ford F-150.
What's up, all you social butterflies? There's a lot happening around the Portland area. Despite the snow and ice yesterday, this weekend, if you're looking for something to do, just check out our weekend agenda online. It's always a fun list there, and you can add to it, post your own events. Either way, head to events.kgw.com. And hey, if you're looking for some workout motivation this year, maybe an exercise buddy is just what the doctor ordered. And no, this is not the wrong video. It's definitely the case for an Oklahoma woman who's found the most unlikely of running buddies. Galen Culver introduces us.
Hey, Penny, what you doing?
It's not like Sarah Heights really needs somebody to push her to get out and train for her second marathon.
Hey, just relax there.
She knows it takes a while to work up to those long training runs, but it is nice to have somebody along.
Ready to go?
Like her dog Daisy, and this 1.5-year-old Nigerian dwarf goat, who seems to like running too.
Well, this is Penny. This is Penny Lane. She was actually named from a Beatles song.
Bottle raised and part of the family, Penny stayed in the house until she grew horns.
She goes in, we have a barn that she goes in with chickens at night.
Penny still headbutts the front door from time to time. The running part just came naturally. She saw Sarah take off one day and just followed.
I mean, if she sees me going to run, like if she happens to see me, yeah, she likes to go. She goes with me.
Penny's gone as much as 4 miles in a single run. No leash, Sarah stays pretty close to home, so the goat usually just waits or heads on back to the house when she wants.
No, she'll probably go with me like 3 or 4 times a week.
It's not something you see every day, so people often stop to talk when they see what's really going on.
Is that a goat? I'm like, yes it is.
Sarah figures Penny gets in anywhere from 12 to 15 miles of running per week. She's not so sure about whether Nigerian goats are suited to a full 26 miles, but this early in her training, neither is she.
Well, I mean, she looks actually kind of wide. I don't know, maybe she knows she needs to run. Oh, come here.
For now, Sarah and Daisy and Penny, too, remain that unique running group, worthy of a double or triple take on the country roads of McLean County. A runner and her dog and her kid, chewing up the miles.
A lovely story, but it was a tad bit rude to say, well, she's a bit wide. Maybe she knows she needs to run.
Both of us got sensitive for the goat, but actually I kind of said the same thing. She's got like quite the stance there, so you know, I don't know. Maybe she's built for it, or maybe she needs it. Should I not be commenting on
I don't want people looking at my physique, so I'm going to walk out of the screen now that we're getting so picky and judgmental.
Wow, okay. Body image issues over here. The Heights, by the way, bought Penny as a baby, and they've raised her ever since. So it was super cute. We'll be right back.
Time to treat yourself to a blissful night's sleep. Now, through February 18th, shop the bedroom event at Dania Furniture and save up to 20% on beds, nightstands, dressers, chests, and mattresses, from individual pieces to entire collections. Visit a local showroom or shop online today to find the furniture that reflects your personality and favorite design style. Dania Furniture. We make it simple, you make it home.
At Great Clips, feeling good and being healthy go hand in hand. So Coach Carney's here to train the team for the Shamrock Run.
Time to get pumped!
First, the Screaming Eagle.
Yeah, that's my girl. Shamrock, Shamrock. What are we training for? Shamrock Run! Eagle, attack!
Join Great Clips at the Shamrock Run March 17th. Brought to you by KGW.
Ram Truck is the Northwest favorite truck brand, and Dick Hanna's brand new Ram Truck Center is the Northwest top-selling #1 truck dealership. Join us for Ram Truck Month and explore over 40,000 square feet of interior showroom with hundreds of new trucks to choose from, financing offers straight from the factory, and prices well below MSRP. Right now is the best time to upgrade your rig. Your new truck is waiting in the giant Vancouver Auto Mall. Dick Hanna Dealerships. Belief in nice.
There's a new $1, $2, $3 menu hack at McDonald's.
Now you can choose 2 of your favorites for just $3.
Like a savory sausage McMuffin.
A classic McDouble.
Or a crispy McChicken.
You can even mix them up. And here comes any size soft drink or any size coffee for $1.
It's the new Choose 2 for $3 on the $1, $2, $3 menu.
This is the all-new Chevy Silverado.
It's beautiful.
Beefy and mean looking. It's the strongest, most advanced Silverado ever. The cab is bigger than the last generation.
First truck I've seen make you look small.
But that's not all.
Oh my!
Whoa! The Silverado has more cargo volume than any competitor.
Very impressive.
Get a total value of over $7,000 on this all-new Silverado when you finance with GM Financial. See your Northwest Chevy dealer.
This is KGW News at Sunrise.
Hey, big news. If you're up in Washington or headed that way, I-90 is closed in both directions. This is just east of Ellensburg. It's in the heart of the state. Snow and poor visibility making it impassable. Ice as well, according to WashDOT. They do hope to have it open in the next few hours, but obviously watch out for that. Got Rod Hill alongside me now. Apparently the winter weather has put you in the mood for chili. You just spent the whole commercial break talking about it.
Well, I was saying my wife and daughter are out of town. I had canned chili for dinner last night. It was surprisingly tasty. But a reminder that, you know, Washington State has been hit a lot harder, as you likely know.
Yeah,
all the reports of snow up in Seattle, and they've got some snow up there over the heart of central Washington right now. I think we've got, do we? We do, yeah, right there's the, I'm looking to see what Andy's going to show you as we zoom into our live camera out in the Dalles from the Oregon Veterans Home. Quiet weather in the gorge today, absolutely stunning, but a reminder that they expect winter storm conditions to develop overnight tonight and continue through tomorrow. Hood River could be looking at 8 inches of snow starting tonight through tomorrow, for example. I want to show you, we have another system coming in later this afternoon. This is Futurecast at 7 p.m. This one carries an ice threat. So the salmon-colored areas here on the east side out through Troutdale, if this were correct, this would be freezing rain and or sleet with rain in downtown Portland. And the sleet areas might even extend and get more icy in more spots as we go into late evenings. We'll be talking more about that coming up. For now, though, we're dry, we're quiet. We have some breaks in cloud cover. We're at 28. We'll be above freezing at lunchtime. And then we'll see that next batch of moisture roll in between 4 and 5 o'clock at the earliest. And again, coming up, the new twist on tonight's moisture is that this one packs the potential of freezing rain and sleet. Last time it was either snow or too warm for snow, as we know in Beaverton. I feel like we're going to be apologizing to Beaverton's lack of snow for the next week.
just apology cards going out to everybody. All right, thanks so much. And hey, we did send Keely Chalmers out to check out how the roads are looking this morning. So Keely, you're in Drive 8 for us. Where are you guys at this point?
And now we're on 122nd in Northeast Portland. I'll give you a live look at the road conditions out here. And obviously, the closer you get into downtown Portland, the better the roads are. But even here on 122nd, which has been treated, we heard from PBOT that it is still, as you can see, covered in some snow in some areas, and it is slick in some areas still. Traffic going fairly smoothly, so we haven't seen any problems. But again, you head out onto the side streets. We'll take a turn here onto one of those side streets to show what's the situation. And here you can see one lane is actually pretty clear. So I don't know, crews came down here, did some salting or sanding down here, but other lanes are still kind of slushy and snow covered. So again, a different story. I mean, folks there on the west side may be saying, hey, what's up? There's not a lot of snow coverage. Why are you guys out in Drive 8 reporting on this? And this is why. East of I-205, these are the kind of situations that we're seeing. A lot of the snow that piled up yesterday morning has now been packed down. Cars have driven over it, so it kind of melted. Then we had the freeze overnight, and now it is just bumpy ice out here. I also want to point out, according to our car, we're at 27 degrees right now, so still, that's why we're not seeing any thawing at all as of this morning. Again, things will likely change here as we head into the later morning hours, but again, if you're heading into East County, be prepared for some conditions like you're seeing right here. Some icy spots. Even when the roads are cleared and have been salted or graveled, you'll likely run into an icy patch here or there. So again, this is a situation out here east of I-205. The streets still slick, still slushy, and traffic still very slow going. Maggie, back to you.
All right. Well, Keely, thank you so much. Looks like he's talked about icy patches. That entire road seemed like it was covered in ice. So definitely be safe out there for us, and we appreciate the update. Well, the roads saw plenty of drama. Ice playing, this was yesterday, ice playing a role in several major crashes, and that includes this crash that we watched kind of play out for hours because it trapped an SUV driver, and then it shut down the ramp from I-5 South to I-84 East for 5.5 hours. And in fact, Sky 8 was over the scene live when crews pulled Alex Ream-Sapiano out of his SUV. He'd been stuck wedged between that Love's fuel truck right there and the edge of the freeway. Amazingly, his SUV still worked after that, and he drove it away from the scene, although it does need some body work here in the near future. Well, in the public transit realm, MAX trains have been going all night to keep the lines running properly amid the ice and storm. So now I think we have Roberta Alstat from TriMet on the phone this morning. Roberta, are you there?
Good morning. How are you doing, Maggie?
Oh, I'm doing well, thank you. Thanks for being with us. So first, I mean, we just mentioned the trains have been running all night. Is there any issue with ice on the lines at this point?
No, we did keep those trains running to clear the ice, any ice build off of those overhead power lines. So MAX is running smoothly. I would say on the bus side, we're still seeing challenging conditions on the outer east side, as Keely was just showing. And so we do have those buses still running on the traditional hard chains. We are removing chains from other buses on other lines Some of those buses are currently in service, so we do appreciate our riders' patience and understanding as we get that done. And we do still encourage folks to go to TriMet.org/alerts to check to see if their bus line might have any detour. We only have 3 currently on a detour.
Okay, great. TriMet, the alerts website is always so helpful there. Did want to ask you, I'll give you a platform for a little bit of a PSA. Yesterday, it seemed like, we had issues out at the airport for drivers, and you guys were the best option. In your mind, is this just an example of, public transit is always a great safe option in these conditions?
Well, I would say that during snow, the MAX is a great option. It really doesn't have much issue, if any issue, in the snow. Obviously, if it was freezing rain, that'd be another situation because those power lines are up in the air, and those are the first things to coat. I would also say that we had some lines that were detoured on our bus side, but the majority of our bus lines were running regular route, and that's in thanks to PBOT, ODOT, and our other jurisdictional partners that are out there and keeping those streets clear of snow buildup or ice or putting down the de-icer or the salt. So we really appreciate that, and they really deserve a shout out for that, as do our riders, putting up with the challenging conditions and being careful getting to and from stops and stations. We really appreciate their patience.
Okay, cool. Love giving people props when they deserve it. Well, Roberta Altstadt from TriMet, thank you so much for calling in this morning.
Thank you. Stay warm.
All right, will do. I'll try. Well, the further north you went, the more the snow seemed to just pile up. The totals were higher in southwest Washington, including Yakult, where 3 to 4 inches came down. And then there was more than half a foot in Kalama and Longview. In fact, our crew caught up with a couple who just moved here from Tennessee, and they're experiencing the Pacific Northwest snow for the very first time.
It's a little bit wetter than I thought, but that's okay because we like the, cold and the damp, and the roads clear a lot quicker than I thought they would. But, the back roads are still a little dicey.
There you go. Not a bad review from the outsider there, or the newcomer, I should say. Camas, by the way, topped the Southwest Washington totals list with 8 inches of snow out there. And if you haven't downloaded it yet, now is an awesome time. We have a new KGW weather app for you. Our meteorologists are always working on it. It has the weather for your exact location, hour by hour, along with your current forecast. It is better than your smartphone, we say, and it's free to download on your app store. Well, in other news this morning, it's official. Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren is running for president. Warren says she is running against a, quote, rigged system that props up the rich and powerful and kicks dirt on everyone else, end quote. She says she will fight for big structural change in this country.
The home ownership gap between black and white families is 30 percentage points, bigger than it was back in 1960 when housing discrimination was actually legal. Race matters, and we need to say so.
Senator Warren made no mention during her kickoff speech about her past claims to Native American identity. She has apologized for that multiple times in the past, but now a Trump campaign manager is saying Warren, quote, has been exposed as a fraud by the Native Americans she impersonated and disrespected to advance her professional career. Well, a month after surviving a nasty crash, Britain's 97-year-old Prince Philip is giving up his driver's license. Philip escaped without injury on January 17th when he flipped his Land Rover in a collision. The other driver and passenger suffered minor injuries. Skiing legend Lindsey Vonn has finished her final downhill race this morning. This event will air here on KGW later this afternoon, so we'll give you a moment to mute us if you want to avoid the spoilers. Ready? Here we go.
The greatest glider in the world.
And now in the green by 2/10. So ahead of the pace by Ravensburg. Again, Vonn just the third skier down the hill, but going through the final few gates for the final time in her storied career. Vonn to the line here in Åre, Sweden. Yes, on top for now. The greatest of all
So
time.
cool. So Vonn would end up taking third in the downhill. Again, you can watch the full race today at noon on KGW. And hey, if you muted us, take us off mute. Take us off mute. I don't know why I'm saying that. It's irrelevant. All right, Rod is just minutes away with our complete Sunday forecast. Hopefully you're back by then. He can tell us what we can expect over the next 24 hours. We have a chance for more ice on the way. But first, we'll take a break from the snow for an emotional story. They lost their team mom. Their coach lost his wife. How basketball has kept them all together and how they're keeping their #1 fan in their hearts.
In severe weather season, be ready for anything.
Another round of snow.
Didn't take much the other day to make a mess.
The KGW Storm Team.
It is blowing like crazy.
Tracking rain, flooding, wind, snow, and ice.
Another storm develops.
Know what's coming. Download the new Portland weather app from KGW for severe weather alerts on the go. Rod in the morning.
What's going on right now?
Matt at night.
Keep that in mind.
Keeping you prepared and out of harm's way. Rely on the KGW Storm Team.
Standard TV and Appliance asks, what do you want in new appliances?
Do you want GE's gas, electric, convection, induction, stainless steel, Slate, French Door, Energy Star, top load, front load, high efficiency, or huge capacity?
I want it all. Yeah, I want everything.
Refresh and save with GE Cafe. Upgrade your kitchen and save up to $1,500 when you buy 4 GE Cafe appliances. Standard TV and Appliance.
This second shift, this old pair of pants, this staycation, this brown bag lunch. At American Family Insurance, we understand what it takes to make your first home, your second home, or your dream home a reality. It's the same as it takes to protect it, to protect your new life, your future, your dreams.
Yes, I'm a dreamer.
So this is our parts room. Everything in here you're going to see is factory parts. This is an important part of the business. The manufacturer spends billions of dollars developing these parts for quality and safety. I guess this is something that sets us apart from everybody else, is that we insist on it, and we built our business on that.
Beware of imitations.
That's it.
Welcome back. So the Century girls basketball team is in the race for a playoff spot, but hoops have definitely taken a backseat to life, and the loss of a loved one has brought them even closer together. KGW photojournalist Richard Gordon has their emotional story.
Look at it, look at it. Atta baby, get back. Sports has always been really, really important to me. Angie, you gotta attack the gap, okay? Come on. It's always been my thing. It's been my passion. I think that's why I decided to teach, because I wanted to coach. You said it wasn't going to be easy like last time, right? You know, they're playing with more energy and stuff than you are. My wife and I, we were high school sweethearts. She's been around. We've been married 45 years. She's been around all the athletic thing forever. Hey, Bearcat, stay long now, stay long. Right in the middle, same thing.
Last week we lost our coach's wife, Karen Gainey.
I think she represented like the center of our team. No matter what the outcome is, we should always be proud of ourselves.
Yeah, just keep doing it. It becomes a part of you, and when I went back in the gym, it was just like, you know, a little bit of cleansing, a little bit of relief, and like this is a good place to be.
Well, of course we made our t-shirts and we laid flowers on the chair.
It's brought them together in a way that I don't think other teams can experience. In the first day back, you know, it was hard, you know, but we took some time. We were there for each other.
I spent a lot of time crying and worrying about, hey, why did this happen, everything, and then I get in the middle of the girls and it's like, hey, coach, you know, we're here. Let's have some fun.
Last night was kind of a tribute to her, to show her, because we knew she was watching, how much she meant to us and how much she'll continue to mean to us.
We're all going to miss her. But the thing is I know that she's, you know, every game she's watching, and you know, hopefully she'll knock the ball off the ring every once in a while.
That was KGW photojournalist Richard Gordon reporting.
And we do want to thank Coach Gainey and his team for letting us into their huddle and sharing their story. The Jaguars, by the way, have 3 more games left in the regular season, but they're likely to make it to the state playoffs. Good luck to them. We'll be right back.
Morning. Morning. What are you eating for breakfast?
An energy bar.
That's a candy bar in gym clothes. You should eat eggs.
Hello, Agent Shepard. I want the names of the 4 agents who are following me, or you'll never see your daughter again.
I wake up every day knowing that people are dead because of me. I made a choice to save my daughter.
Do you want another truck, or a truck like no other? One that makes people say, they put what in that truck? One that has capabilities you can't find in other trucks, and ushers in a whole new age. The all-new Ram 1500, Motor Trend's 2019 Truck of the Year. For deals like no other, come in now during Ram Truck Month.
Or get 0% APR financing for 72 months on 2018 Ram 1500 or 2019 Ram 1500 models.
When it comes to Alaska, only Holland America Line has the expertise to take you farther, get you closer, and give you those once-in-a-lifetime moments. We are Alaska. We are Holland America Line. Now enjoy 7-day Alaska cruises from $599.
I don't know who invented them, but I could kiss them. Thank you so much.
It was like a whole new world for my feet.
This felt good on my feet. I wanted to put my shoes on.
I can exercise, I can walk.
I could go on a 5-mile hike the next day.
With the good feet, our supports, man, I'm always ready.
I am 100% really back on my feet.
It really brought me back to being able to be me.
You too can live the life you love with Arch Supports from the Good Feet store.
It's birthday time on a Sunday morning. Let's start off with Riker. Oh, that's a fun picture. Look at that. 5 years old today. Happy birthday. Cole is 11. Happy birthday. Looks like an athlete there on the field. Hudson is 14. Happy birthday to you. We have Diego, who's 17 over in Beaverton with no snow, I might add. Jessica is 33 in Portland with less than a half of an inch of snow, I might add. And then out in Washougal, where they had plenty of snow, but Brooke doesn't care. Fisher right there, Big Fish. Birthday-pics at KGW.com.
I love your snow-specific birthday
right along
wishes.
With you.
Those are good.
I think we have a picture from Yamhill County. So Michael Hogue sent this in. I'm not sure the elevation Michael lives, but he took these shots. He said it had upwards of 10 inches of snow down there. You know, yesterday was the forecast that was either, hey, we didn't get anything, but a lot of people got more than twice what we thought anybody would get. So it was really quite the mixed bag. And we live in an area where, unless it's a classic winter storm setup, the reality is we typically see a great variance. Unless it's, you know, the east winds have been blowing, the Pacific front's coming in, and we all get a foot. If it's not that, and boy, yesterday we really got a variance. I want to talk about our next moisture coming in. This is this afternoon at 4 o'clock. This will be snow and blue over the Coast Range. And notice we didn't have this with the last batch, but areas of freezing rain and sleet, and then the green is rain, just starting to push into Portland, if the timing is correct, at about 4 o'clock. Here we are at 6 p.m. Notice into the I-5 corridor, Newburgh, that would be a period of maybe some freezing rain and sleet, kind of a rain, freezing rain, sleet mix over Portland. Notice this high-resolution computer model picks up the snow level around 500 feet and says it's snow on top of the West Hills right there. And then going into 7:30, again, a lot of rain in Portland down to Canby, but areas of freezing rain and sleet. And then notice what happens. We go into later this evening, 10, 11 p.m. This broadens an area of freezing rain and sleet, potentially blanket in the east side from near downtown Portland to the south. So icy areas, a big concern tonight with moisture that could be falling into freezing ground temperatures as freezing rain or sleet. Again, we didn't have that on yesterday's event. So Portland, a mix in downtown, but mostly we think it's rain. The east side, now we've got big-time icy mix concerns. You get out in elevation or closer to the gorge, there's probably some snow pooling. 500 feet is where the snow level looks to start, and then it goes up during the night. Kelso, an icy mix to rain, and then Salem we think is just all rain this time. Here's a look at our wider Futurecast model at 7:30 Monday morning. Again, this is moisture with a good southwest wind coming in that's going to try to warm up the atmosphere. So this even starts to deteriorate the coast range snow, and it's raining up in elevation now. But still all snow Monday morning in the Gorge and the Cascades. Still all snow the Hood River Valley and the Cascades at 12:30 Monday afternoon. This is a good, steady, fairly steady rain day during the day, and here we are Monday evening. The rain's starting to break up for the valley, but look at all the snow. 20 inches from tonight through Tuesday night, a potential government camp with amounts maybe 40 inches higher on the mountain. It could be a foot of snow that starts tonight in Hood River and the Gorge and goes through the day tomorrow. Let's get you back to right now. Boy, it's a nice start to our day. Look at that beautiful sunshine over Uquinna Bay from our Newport camera. 30 degrees is the temperature there. Here is the sunshine out over the Reserve Vineyards and Golf Club in Alover. They basically just had some flurries the other day and didn't come up with anything snow-wise, really. 25 degrees out there this morning, and a mix of partly cloudy skies. There's some breaks in cloud cover downtown Portland, and we are at 28 degrees. Not as cold as I thought we'd be generally because the clouds didn't break until early this morning, but it is 21 up in Battleground. It is 22 up the hill in Happy Valley, and 24 in Oregon City, and 29 degrees this morning in Salem. So certainly a coat morning. Here's the beach with rain arriving maybe as early as 2 o'clock this afternoon. Temps in the 40s. And then the Mid-Valley primarily gets by with just rain tonight, but keep an eye for some cold pockets where there could be an icy mix. Better chance of some icy mix or snow mixing in this evening and overnight tonight up north of the Columbia River. If you're going up the mountain today, it's 4 to 7 inches of snow tonight, but primarily a dry day. Primarily a dry day in the Gorge before 4 to 8 inches of snow arrives tonight. Here are the temperatures statewide at 3 o'clock, and snow showers will be scattered out across eastern Oregon with highs in the 20s. And our 7-day, primarily rain for the flats of the I-5 corridor. Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday into Thursday morning still looks to be dry. And that is the update for now. And as we said yesterday repeatedly, this forecast warrants a check-in every 24 hours to see, because we're calling temperatures 30 or 34.
Right.
You know, and that's a big difference.
It seems like even more than every 24 hours.
Check in every 16 hours.
Okay, cool.
5 minutes.
Rod, thank you so much.
2 minutes.
We'll be right back. Wrap it up.
1 minute.
Weekday mornings, KGW meteorologist Rod Hill is on it, alerting you first.
Super cold.
School closures and delays updated fast.
Snow rotating.
Traffic expert Chris McGinnis helping you stay safe.
Really treacherous. The traffic is almost stopped.
Whether you've lived here your whole life.
Here's our storm coming.
Or it's your first winter.
This is not normal.
The most accurate.
With snow bullseye.
Most trusted morning team. KGW News at Sunrise. Weekdays starting at 4:30 a.m.
This is the all-new Chevy Silverado.
It's beautiful.
Beefy and mean looking. It's the strongest, most advanced Silverado ever. The cab is bigger than the last generation.
First truck I've seen make you look small.
But that's not all.
Oh my!
Whoa! The Silverado has more cargo volume than any competitor.
Very impressive.
Get a total value of over $7,000 on this all-new Silverado when you finance with GM Financial. See your Northwest Chevy dealer.
Know what's coming with the new Portland Weather app from KGW. Get severe weather alerts and weather cameras. Download it now.
Let's talk kitchens. Let's talk dreams. Let's talk KitchenAid. Let's talk savings. Big savings. Save up to $1,600 when you purchase a qualifying KitchenAid kitchen package. Let's talk selection. Let's talk service. Let's talk know-how. Standard TV and Appliance, setting the standard since 1947. Let's talk.
This is our calling, our time to come together. It's the laughter of kids at Baxter Auto Parts Free Kids Trout Pond. New to the show this year, the Garmin Tech Center. Plus, the backyard barbecue demonstrations. It's a celebration of the senses. And experience seminars from Northwest experts at the Bi-Mart Walleye Alley Tank. This is your tradition. Make it a celebration. The Pacific Northwest Sportsman's Show, presented by Loophole. Join us February 6th through 10th at the Portland Expo Center.
Hey everybody, Sky 8 is over. Basically, Gresham East Portland right now. Yesterday, that was definitely one of the harder hit areas here in the metro area. A lovely serene shot out there this morning. Yeah, very nice. Hey, Keely Chalmers is still out on the roads. Keely, I hear you're back in Wood Village, giving us one last look.
Yeah, we wanted to come back out here now that the sun is up. Last time we were out here was dark. We're checking out the roads now that we can see them clearly, and here is a live look. This is Northeast Gleason in the Wood Village area, and you can see that still snow out here, still slick in spots. Actually, this right here where we are right now is one of the best spots of Northeast Gleason out here that we've seen so far, but clearly snow still out here. We're coming up on I believe it's what is it, Chad? Yeah, what is it? I think it's 242nd, where there was a closure last time we were up here. I just want to see if there's still a closure here, and there it is. Yeah, you can see this is 242nd, or actually if you're heading north, it's 238th down to I-84, and you can see there the road is still closed. Situation still slick out here. If you're heading out here, make sure you use caution and drive slow. Maggie, I'll send it back to you.
All right, Keely, thank you. One last look at that 7-day rod.
Nice to see the sun. Again, we're quiet through mid-afternoon. Portland could start to get some rain around 4 o'clock, and as we go into the evening, don't forget we're tracking what could be increasing areas of sleet and freezing rain this time around, especially where Keely was just out and where Sky 8 is flying right now.
Yeah, Sky 8 once again over East Portland and Gresham. Stay safe out there, everybody, and have a great day.
Driving in winter weather can be dangerous, so is your car ready? Well, you can use this checklist. Keep your gas tank at least half full. Check your fluid levels.